Hi, this is Paul Knickerberger, founder of Be Your Best Academy, where champions inspire to share, sweat, and smile. Today we're going to talk about how to hit the ball hard and far and some things that go into hitting the ball with consistency, with home run power, gap power. Regardless of your size, everyone should be able to hit the ball hard. So we're going to talk a little bit about how do we do that and some factors and some things to consider. On the board behind me, I have written some things that we're going to discuss. But before we do so, anyone here give me a definition of what the ultimate hitter is. What is the ultimate hitter? We talked about that some time ago. Do you remember? Dylan or Daniel? Hello?
Find the perfect pitch, perfect swing, perfect point of contact.
Okay, that's close. That's pretty good. Getting a great pitch to hit, putting on a great swing with timing in a great or right situation. Those things have to come into play to become the ultimate hitter. Okay, so how do we hit the ball hard and possibly far with consistency? I mean, ultimately that's what we want to try to do as a hitter, correct? So, some things to think about. Number one, ball exit speed. We must connect sweet spots. Sweet spot of bat to sweet spot of ball produces sweet music, sweet connection. Okay, so that has to happen. We call that squaring the ball up. You've got to square the ball up. If the pitch is inside, where do we square up the ball? You think? In relation to the plate or your body?
In front.
Slightly in front. So that inside pitch, I'm squaring it up here. That pitch down the middle, I'm squaring it up the middle. That pitch that's away, I'm letting it travel a little bit. And I'm squaring it up. So squaring up is very, very important. Ball exit speed. For me, it's the ultimate measure. If I can generate ball exit speed, then I know that other things are happening. I'm on time, and I've got force, and all those kinds of things. So that's why we're trying to always improve ball exit speed. The analogy I use, is bat speed overrated? Can you, put it this way, can you explain to me or support the thought that bat speed is overrated? Bat speed is important. It's part of the equation to hitting the ball far and hard. But why is everybody wants bat speed, bat speed? Why is what's wrong with bat speed? Or what are some of the dangers in just trying to generate bat speed? You have any idea, Jonathan?
No.
Dill? A little bit too much right now? All right, you seniors, juniors, veterans, what do you think? Important stuff here.
If you just have bat speed, then you got to swing with your whole body. You can't just swing with your arms.
Okay. Anything, Brendan? Bats in terms of why just trying to generate bat speed is not necessarily the answer?
Because of off-speed pitches.
Bat speed should still maintain and sustain regardless of pitch. How about this notion? I don't want to compromise control for bat speed. In other words, the analogy I've used before is this. I'm going on a race from point A to point B around an icy road. I want to win the race around icy conditions. If I go too fast, what happens? I spin out of control. If I go too slow, I don't win the race. So there's that optimal acceleration control. If I just want to generate bat speed, I can do so at the expense of control. And that can never happen because for me, it's about precision and timing, as we'll talk about. So yes, we accelerate through release. Yes, bat speed's important, but it's not everything. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. So understand ball exit speed. Body acceleration. Body acceleration meaning that my linear movement forward and angular rotation are two movements that occur. Okay, so I've got my speed, my acceleration, my momentum, converting momentum into rotational forces, all of that stuff has a factor on how far the ball is hit or how hard the ball is hit and how consistently the ball is hit. Body acceleration and bat acceleration, that's bat speed that we're talking about. How many of you have heard that right from here we just fire? That's a notion, and a lot of coaches teach that. I personally don't. I think it's about control, slow to go. It's an acceleration through contact zone, impact zone. It's not just fire. If I fire, I don't know what muscle I'm using, but the great ones are slow to go, where there's control and there's acceleration through release. Okay, so that's important to know. Incoming pitch, is that important? Well, that's part of it. The harder it comes in, the harder it'll go out if I square it up. So the pitcher has some say into how far or how hard, typically how far I can hit the ball. What's more important, bat speed or ball speed from the pitcher? Both are part of it. What do you think? The answer is bat speed. Bat speed has more of an impact than ball speed from the pitcher. I forget the exact percentage, but bat speed is more important. Ball exit angle. Part of this is squaring up. If I hit the ball and I hit underneath the ball, the ball's going to go up. I don't have as much wood on the ball or the sweet spots. If I hit on top of the ball, it's going to go down. I want to ideally hit a line drive. A line drive is about 10 to 20 degrees. Hard hit, squaring up, 10 to 20 degrees. Far, 30 degrees, 30 to 5 degrees. So in other words, the pitch angle's coming here, and I hit it and it rebounds at these angles. You need to know that. So how consistently are you hitting these angles? I don't want ground balls. I don't want pop-ups. I want it to be line drives. Line drives means I'm right on it. The harder a measure of a good ultimate hitter is how hard you hit the ball. So every time you hit a ball, you gotta hit the ball hard. When we train, we don't train like we play, and that's a problem. If you want to get fast, you gotta run fast. If you want to jump high, you gotta jump high. If you want to be a good hitter, you gotta practice game-like situations, understanding that there's a progression and development. And I know that this is a little much for you younger kids, but it's something you need to hear now. You gotta practice. I have found that my tee swings, my slow toss swings, my flip swings, whatever drill you use, you don't maximize bat speed. And it's not the same as if you were in a game. It's like a pitcher. If I just throw 70 miles per hour and train through 70 miles per hour, and then I want to go in a game and I'm throwing at 80, 85, I'm not going to ever get much better if I don't reach those 85s in practice. So the bat speed, come on in. Hello. We just started. Get a stool here if you could. So the bat speed in practice is very, very important. Okay. Emotional control, brain speed. The quicker I can recognize the pitch in terms of where and when, the better I can do in hitting. So the speed of the brain reaction. How much time do we have to hit let's say an 85 mile per hour fastball?
Point something.
Pardon me?
Point something.
Point what? Half a second, little less than half a second. Folks, to register in a coconut where the pitch is, to get the muscles to fire, and to determine where the pitch is going to be, that's why hitting's so difficult. Actually, everybody can hit. Others just hit a little bit better. So we're all trying to be better. So the point here is brain speed, where and when is very important. Emotional control. If my mind is like a squirrel. What's a squirrel? Did you ever see a squirrel in front of a car? What's a squirrel do when you're driving and the squirrel's in the front in the roadway and it sees the car approaching? What's the squirrel do? Did you ever notice the squirrel goes this way, that way, doesn't know where to go? It's got scattered thinking. What do you think a shark does? Is a shark, does he have scattered thinking? Laser-like thinking, or an approach. So we don't want to be a squirrel. We want to have a clear mind. We want to see the ball, hit through the ball. So that's very important. Come on in, Tyler. Huh?
Should I go see them?
Please. I'm going to continue here with my train of thought before I lose it. That's easy for me to do. Okay, so emotional control, brain speed. You have to, well, we'll talk about that a little later, vision. So understand that. How quickly you react and respond and read is pretty important. Technique. Yes, we have to be efficient. I'll break it down to you, folks. It's all about support, action and movement, and support. My muscles support me. I swing the bat, and they support me, and I finish in support. Support, action, support. Doesn't have to be too crazy. So we've got to be efficient with our technique. And I like to break it down into the S's. Stance. Weight on the inside back. Your butt's out like you're going up for a rebound. Toe line. Bat wide. Toe straight. Armpit high. I like to have my arm a little bit back further in here. They call it a stretch reflex. And then from here, all I'm going to do is drive my shoulders, the barrel of my back knee to the ball and stay inside the ball. I'm not going to disconnect. I'm going to stay inside. Top hand closest to the pitcher, touching the halo, not in front, not behind, touching the side. My elbow, doesn't matter. As I ready to approach the ball, I'd like to see my elbow no higher than the shoulder high. Not behind, butt side. Back here is fine. And then from this point on, I'm going to deliver the barrel to the ball. So it's very simple. Let's make it easy on ourselves. So technique is important in terms of how hard and far and consistent we hit the ball. Game plan. You must learn to hunt pitches. What does that mean? Well, that means this. As a hitter, I can't cover all of the plate. I can't cover up, down, out, and in. It's just too much. Breaking pitch, slider, changeup, fastball, sinkers. Can't cover all that stuff. The great hitters are great hunters of pitches. They look for a particular pitch in a particular zone. If they get it, they take advantage of it. All of that will go out the window with 2 strikes. And with 2 strikes, then you've got to protect. And then your zone expands. But it's very, very important that you hunt pitches and don't try to hit a curveball or a nasty curveball changeup on the first pitch, for example. Hunt pitches. Look for a pitch. Pitchers oftentimes tip their pitches too. So get a good read as how they do that. We'll talk about that in another session. How pitchers tip their pitches, clearly giving you the advantage in terms of situations, in terms of body language, in terms of where they place their hands. Even the runners can help you, etc. Fielders can help you in terms of where they position themselves. Catchers move over, all that stuff. And lastly, vision. You have to have soft, sweeping, scanning eyes. If it's a hard focus, and you start staring, you're going to get blurry vision. You're not going to see the ball with clarity. So, you have to be on time. You have to be a little early. What does that mean? To be on time, you have to be a little early. If I get to release point too late, I'm in trouble. If I get to release point too early, it's not ideal. But if I get to release point on time, I will be able to see the ball early. Early detection, early read of the pitch within the first 20 feet of release is where you gather your information. That's critical. If you only see the ball halfway, it's too late. As a hitter, we talk about timing. If you don't do anything until the ball is released, too late. Your mechanics are out the window, too late. From that point on, you can just make adjustments to try and get the barrel to the ball. There must be some movement prior to release, and then you have to get to release on time with your eyes. How do you get to release? Some go from down to up, some go from wide focus to fine focus. Figure it out. But you got to work on that. Timing, critical. Timing is done with the first 20 feet after the ball has released. But you as a hitter must move prior to release. If you move only after release, it's too late. What you do in between the time goes in, when the pitcher goes for his windup, is critical. What are you doing? Are you just standing and waiting till the ball is to be released before you decide to do anything? Too late. Timing. If I were to ask you a question, I'm going to ask you this question. What is the most important thing to becoming the ultimate hitter? What's the most important thing to becoming the ultimate hitter? Power hitter. What would you say? Putting you on the spot, Bobby. Timing. And how do we practice timing? What do we do to slow the ball down? What are we doing? Are we just going up there hacking away? Worse, do we go in practice and just hack? Timing is critical. Vision is critical. Soft, sweeping, scanning eyes. Critical. How do you time the pitcher? Well, you have to be in alignment with the pitcher. You're not competing against the pitcher. You're working with the pitcher. He's going to make you look good. You want him to be good so that you can look good. You're not competing against him. It's not a battle per se, at least not the way I look at it. I look at it, okay, let's dance together. Hello. Come on in. Let's dance. Let's work together here. And let's be in sync with one another. So that's important. Any questions about what I've just said? No? All's good? You sure? Dads? Make sense? Any questions? Okay.